Hi, my name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am trying to focus 2026 on doing pack limited builds. I have done builds previously where I've only used the Tiny Living pack, and I've done another build where I've only used the Get Together pack. And for this build, I'm only going to be using the base game and the High School Years expansion pack. So this is built in the world that came with the High School Years pack. We're first going to be just working on the wraparound porch of this house, and if you want any extra information, it will be down in the description. And while you're down there, maybe hit the like button. That would really help my channel grow, and the algorithm will know to send my videos out to more people. And so we're just going to be working now on the inside of the home. I wanted to go for kind of like a coastal cottage. It's kind of been upgraded just a little bit, and I would go for like a full-on coastal home. It's just the base game, and the High School Years doesn't have a lot of coastal items. If you are wanting to have a coastal cottage, you can use the Cat and Dog expansion pack that has a lot of like coastal artwork, kind of like nautical lighting, like driftwood table item. Very cool. I have a Cats and Dogs build on my list. I just am kind of waiting until I want to do when it feels right, if you understand what I mean by that. Just waiting for like the right Pinterest home to pop up to give me the inspiration. So we are now just in the living room. I wanted like the main living space to be open, but like still have a little bit of separation with the office and the kitchen, just to kind of keep that like old cottage that's been slightly upgraded going. So we're just going to adding a rug. I did use the same rug just to keep it kind of consistent, since this is a open concept right between the living room and the entryway. So we're just going to be making a little plant corner. I feel like plants aren't always like the first thing that I add. I know that there are some Sims 4 creators who make sure there is a pile of plants in every room, but I don't really do that. I just kind of like use them for a little bit of like a sprinkling here and there. So I'm just going to be adding some artwork in between of the door to the kitchen and the door to the back patio. Now we are in the kitchen. I wanted to go for a nice yellow color, and these cabinets are from the base game, to match the tile on the floor, and the tile floor is from High School Years. So we're just going to be adding all of the appliances. And I didn't like overly clutter the kitchen because I was imagining that there would be opposite twins and their parents living in this home, and so they don't really need to have like a whole bunch of stuff out. There's not like a big family that would be living here, and this is a pretty big kitchen for a cottage. So we're just going to be adding a few things here on the corner, and I'm just imagining everything else would be in the drawers and the cabinets. I know in like older versions of The Sims, like in The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, The Sims would like have animation to like pull out the pan from the drawer, and I thought that was really cool. So that's why I was kind of imagining. I know your Sims here in The Sims 4 won't be able to do that, but that is what I was imagining. It was kind of like my excuse for not putting a lot of clutter on the counters in the kitchen. Plus, your Sims can cook together, just not with all of the clutter. So now we are in the home office, and it's a very simple space. It is kind of a smaller space, but I wanted to make sure that there was like some skill building items in here. I was going to put a bookshelf in here, but realized that was a better fit to put by the staircase. So we're just going to be kind of working on floor planning right now. I was going to put like the library in this space, but it just didn't really work. So we just kind of moved that idea to another area of the home. But I did try to like figure out if it's like maybe just like the bookshelf that I was using, but I do just get rid of that bookshelf you see currently, and I'm just gonna be adding a rug underneath the desk. And I was thinking how cool it would be for them to add like the specific desk, chair, plastic rolling things on in The Sims. You know, those like little like hard plastic mats that have those little like spikes on the bottom so the chair can roll through the carpet if your office is carpeted. And so we are now just going to be kind of working on this little nook area slash hallway space to the second floor. I feel like the space was a little bit awkward, but I think I made it work pretty well. I was thinking if I should make the office one tile bigger, but I also didn't want like this area to feel cramped. So it is a little bit of an awkward space, but I feel like I made it work pretty well. And I do realize that we have a chess table that came with high school years, and so I switched out the base game one for the high school years one. High school years one is pretty cool because it is a circular chess table. So we're just going be working on this little nook to get to the second level, and this nook was kind of tricky to work with. It is a little bit of an awkward space because it is a large space. I was thinking if I should have made the home office a little bit smaller, but I didn't also want this area to feel cramped. So we're just going to be adding a rug to the hallway to get to the primary bedroom. The second level in the back of the home does also have a balcony off of it, which we are going to be working on now. I'll put some art easels up here. I was imagining either one of the parents is a painter, or maybe that's like a side hobby for one of the teens. And we're just gonna be making a little like hangout spot, like a nice little like chat spot, maybe like a one-on-one area. Just kind of like take in the views of the coast. I cut this part out, but I did like go into the tab mode to like make sure that like this is a good view for the Sims. So we're just going to be adding a picnic table while I was thinking about it, and now we are in the first teen bedroom, and this teen is a cheerleader and a artist, and I was wanting to go for like opposite teen or opposite twin themed rooms. So this one is pastel and kind of more happy. This room has views of the ocean, and I was thinking this might be a little bit messy, which is totally okay, but they're into cheerleading. They are kind of more of the bright, sunshiny exterior sim, and then their twin is more of a loner. They have more of a darker colored room, and they are into gaming. So before we go into the gaming room, we're just going to be adding some fairy lights. I do have both rooms have these fairy light curtains, but only you'll see them in the video. I did try to get them in the screenshots towards the end of the video. Stay tuned for those, but it just was like kind of like coming at a weird angle. It was like kind of like a bird's eye view of the room, and so I didn't take that picture because it just seemed a little bit awkward, but they are here in the final version. So we're just going to be adding a little cheerleader megaphone. I didn't add a computer onto this Sims desk, but the other Sims will have a desk on their room. So we're just going to be adding one more poster. I was trying to go for a nice lived in feel for this room. Nice little cozy room. And so we're just going to be finishing up with a little book on the desk. And now we are going to be heading into the bathroom that the teenagers will be sharing, and it's also technically the guest bathroom. There is no first floor bathroom. I maybe should have said this a little bit sooner in the video, but this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and we're just going to be making this area nice for the teenagers. There's a shower, so technically it's like a 3/4 bathroom because there is no tub in this bathroom. So we're just going to be now working on the art in this room, which I kept very simple since it is just a bathroom. And now we're just going to be adding a few more art pieces on into the hallway, and going to be now in the gamer teens bedroom. So I wanted to go for more of a darker tones in here to kind of contrast the lighter pastels going on in the cheerleader's bedroom. And so I did want to have the same bed in this room because I just like the pattern on both of these beds. And it felt kind of cute to have them have the same style of bed, but just with a different, like, coverings or sheets or comforter. I don't know the right terminology. So we're just going to be adding, of course, the gamer posters from the high school years pack. And I do move these closer to the bed because I thought it would be fun just to have, like, the wallpaper be like the main staple of the bedroom, or at least like kind of the main staple behind the streaming desk. This computer I'm using is a curved monitor, first of all, and then second of all, it does come with a built-in microphone and webcam, so your sim can stream their games that they're playing, which I find is really cool. So we're just going to be adding a little bit of clutter onto the desk and onto the side table. I was imagining that the sim would be a little bit more neater. There's not like a pile of clothes scattered on the floor. It's neatly tucked away behind the dresser, as you can see. I feel like the hardest part of this room was like finding items to put on the dresser. So I do have the game controller and some like DVDs, which I was imagining are like Wii games because that's the only other video game I know that has DVD or discs. So we're just going to be adding a few rugs into this space. And I realized that in the cheerleader slash artist bedroom, I didn't add any rugs, but maybe that's what the Sims get for having stuff on the floor. I realized that maybe like I didn't explain why there's like paint on the walls, and did want to put like an art easel in the first teen bedroom, but I didn't because of space, and I was thinking maybe since like there's like paint on the walls, the sim parents were mad that the sim painted on their wall, and so they banned art easels in bedrooms, and that's why there's 2 art easels where outside where there probably could just be one art easel outside. So we're now in the primary bedroom. We're just going to be adding some lamps and going to be adding some curtains. I wanted to keep like the curtains consistent throughout the space because I just wanted to have that kind of consistency. I know it's a little bit random and like it should like kind of like help define the style of each room, but I was going for consistency, and it is an item from the high school years pack. And now we're just going to adding a little stool in the corner. I just felt like it needed something in this corner, but I've used my 3 favorite plants already in the living room, and so I decided to go for that little stool just to like make the bedroom feel a little bit less empty. So now we are in the second to final space of this video, which is the primary bed or primary bathroom. This is the bathroom attached to the bedroom. If you didn't know what a primary bedroom is, I guess it's technically a primary suite. So we're just going to be adding all the things. This is a full bathroom, and we're going to be keeping it consistent with using the same rugs from the first bathroom, and we're just going to be adding all of the regular things you normally see me add in these bathrooms. I did do something different with the bathtub where I added a shelf above the tub so your Sims can have like a spot to like put their book down, or somewhere closer to have like the bath salts. And I do like it in this current location, but I playtested it and the Sim was like kind of like clipping where it was. So I do move it closer to the faucet just a tad so your Sims aren't like clipping with the bathroom shelf. So we're just going to be finishing up this video. And if you enjoyed watching, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I post new videos every single Tuesday, so leave a comment down below if you have any build suggestions for me. I would love to see what you want me to build, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video. Bye!